What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be breaking down Nassourdine Imavov's knockout over the last stylebender Israel Adesanya. So a lot of people think that this knockout came out of nowhere, but there actually was a pretty good setup that Nassourdine Imavov used, and it's actually pretty beautiful to watch. So
this is Nwadei.
Israel Adesanya, we know he has very long arms, right? He's always hand fighting, right? He's always constantly touching his opponent's hands. He's touching the backhand, hand fighting. When he goes southpaw, there's even more lead hand fighting. But the problem occurs when he goes orthodox, because if you're reaching out and touching the same side hand as your opponent, you're leaving your face open, right? If I'm coming out, if I'm reaching out like this, there's hooks, there's the uppercuts, there's different methods that he could use to get around my long guard, right? Because it's not a traditional guard protecting my face. And so what Nassourdine Imavov started doing to take advantage of it is he couldn't really get a tell on Izzy's range early. Izzy was doing a good job of just low kicking him and keeping him at bay and constantly touching his hand. And so Nassourdine started to mix in the grappling, right, to where he's level changing constantly. And what any wrestler knows in MMA is that the moment you start level changing, you start bringing your opponent's hands down. However, in this case, it was even more prudent because Izzy's always trying to touch his hands. So if he level changes, go ahead, my hands come down. And so this is the first setup that Nassourdine Imavov used. He's here, right? He's touching the hands. He level changes, the hands come down. As he's slipping a jab, he's coming up with an uppercut, right? So he's here, boom. As the level comes down, his uppercut comes up, right? Because he's already shot 2 or 3 takedowns. Izzy almost even reaches down with his hands to match the level. And then Nassourdine comes up with an uppercut, right? So again, you're here. He's constantly out touching Imavov's hands. Imavov goes down and then up in order to land that uppercut, right? We see that actually a lot in MMA. That one isn't as impressive as the one he used to knock him out. So the second one came, Israel was actually in southpaw. They're lead hand fighting a lot right here, right? The moment Izzy decides to switch, right? He ends up switching at Nassourdine because, again, Izzy's constantly hand fighting and his hands are away from his face, uses a double jab cross setup, but with hand trapping in between, right? So a traditional double jab cross, if they switch, will just come straight down the middle. However, in this case, the moment Izzy switches, he goes jab, pull down, jab, cross. Right, and you don't even necessarily need that second jab. It could just be a jab cross, but boom, pull down and cross. And the reason it works is, again, because Izzy's constantly hand fighting. His hands are outside of his frame, and so there's a lot of pull downs here, and Izzy has a very long guard, right? So again, boom, here, boom, he switches, pulls it down, comes over the top, and then finishes with the hook. So that's how Nassourdine Imavov was able to set up Israel Adesanya. It had to do with a lot of Izzy's hand fighting, which he's gotten away with a lot in MMA. However, this time, like anything else, it catches up to you, right? So kudos to Nassourdine Imavov. That was a great setup for a knockout, and hopefully you guys could take something from this. If you did, go ahead and leave a comment in the section down below, and don't forget to subscribe.
If you don't, coming for you. Remember, coming for you.